take a minute to explain why I like to use extra thick wax rings. This right here is at the same height as the lip. As you can see, the wax ring is about a quarter inch over that. Doesn't really give you much room for it, and that's the ring that always comes with the toilet.
Don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day.
The first line of the instructions says, "We recommend consulting a professional if you are unfamiliar with installing plumbing fixtures." Okay, that's awesome. Necessary tools and materials: a hacksaw, wax ring, nut driver socket, Phillips screwdriver, adjustable crescent wrench, a tape measure, a level, closet flange, and closet bolts. So the things I have so far are a socket wrench. I have a Phillips screwdriver. I think I have an adjustable wrench. I'll double check. Yeah, I do. I have a tape measure. I have a level. I need to get a wax ring, closet bolts, a closet flange. So the instructions look pretty straightforward. There's just one question I have, but other than that, it looks like it maps pretty closely to all the videos I've watched on YouTube about how to install a toilet. One thing I've noticed, it says, and this is once it's installed, do not use toilet bowl cleansers containing bleach or chlorine. Use of such products can result in damage to tank components and may cause flooding or property damage. So keep that in mind when you scrub your toilet. One of the reasons I bought this building was that there was a hardware store across the street. And I thought, oh, it'll be great. If I need something, I can just run across the street and get it. Well, that place closed down as I was finishing up the contract here and making my bid. So I don't know what your experience with big box stores has been, but mine has rarely been good. I mean, they're okay if you know exactly what you need and you know that they have it in stock. Because if you don't know exactly what you're doing, and that's the curse of homeownership. You know, I mean, often we're trying to fix something that we've never fixed before, and we have almost no experience in that thing. Or maybe you were unlucky enough that you didn't pay attention when you were a kid, when your dad was doing that, and there was no knowledge transfer. But my experience is that every time I've gone to one of the big box home improvement stores, it's terrible. Luckily, in the Seattle market, there's a small hardware chain called McClendon's Hardware, and I love them, right? Like every chance that I get to support them, I do. For example, I had an electrical issue a few years ago. I had no idea what I was doing. So I went into McClendon's, and the guy in the electrical department was a 30-year veteran electrician, and he walked me through the whole process. He showed me the tools I needed to buy, the supplies I needed. I came home, and it just worked. So that's what I'm gonna do today. It's a long drive from downtown Seattle. It's way out in the suburbs, but McClendon's Hardware in Woodinville, Washington was one of these places where the people they hire know what they're talking about. You know, every now and then you have one of those experiences that validates the choices you've made in your life. I just drove through Seattle traffic to get out here to McClendon's in Woodinville, Washington, and oh my God, the traffic was a nightmare. There's construction all over the Seattle area, particularly along the freeway, I-5, I-405. It's awful. So anyway, I'm here at McClendon's and gonna get the stuff I need. So I'm back from McClendon's Hardware in Woodinville, and these are the things I got. I got the wax ring, the extra thick wax ring, which everyone suggests I should do. And I also got the closet bolts. They're called closet bolts because, weirdly, this industry refers to toilets in the old world way of water closets. So you get a closet flange, which is the flange that holds the toilet to the floor. You get closet bolts, which is the bolts that hold the toilet to the flange. So the other thing I got was a new feed line. So this will replace the one that comes out of the wall and goes to the bottom of the tank to fill it. And then the guy at McClendon's, who spent like 20 minutes with me talking me through everything, gave me a secret weapon that he says that he has used in the many toilet installations he's done. When I got home, I realized that there was one thing I forgot to get. Contractor trash bags. They're really heavy, thick, black trash bags that I'm gonna need to when I get rid of the old toilet, because it's gonna be dirty and wet, and I'm gonna do my best to clean it before I even take it out. But I need to have a thing to put it in once I pull it. So I gotta go get some contractor trash bags, which means hardware store. I do not want to drive up to Woodinville again, or even to Home Depot, which is several miles away. There is a hardware store in downtown Seattle, one hardware store left that is within walkable distance of my place. So I'm gonna take a walk in the rain this morning and pick up those contractor bags. And then when I get back here, I will have no reason to not get busy. Then I realized that I needed to make one more hardware store run to get disposable plastic putty knives and a brush, because I realized that at some point in the very near future, I'm gonna have a waxy, poopy mess that I'm gonna have to clean up.
I said, goddamn!
This is a good time to address the elephant in the bathroom, and that is fear, right? So, like most problems in our lives, the thing that prevents us from dealing with them is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of screwing it up. I have several fears right now. I've never replaced a toilet, and it's probably going to be a simple, straightforward thing. I'm going to pull the old one, clean up the mess, put the new one in place, bolt it down, and turn on the feed line, and it's going to work. That's probably what's going to happen. But I could do it wrong and cause more problem than I already have, which is just a basic small leak. But the other fear, the big fear, is that I'm going to pull that toilet and the water that has been leaking out of the backside on the floor has got into the subfloor and started to rot the wood that is underneath the laminate flooring in my bathroom.
I can't think about this now. I'll go crazy if I do. I'll think about it tomorrow.
And I know that delaying it doesn't make that problem go away, but it's a fear. It's a fear I'm facing. And I've been thinking a lot about fear and how we deal with it.
What you really fear is inside yourself. You fear your own power. You fear your anger, the drive to do great or terrible things.
Just a little bit of a backstory. How did this happen? How did all this sort of come to be? Because for the first 5 years or so that I was in this place, there were no problems, and if there were problems, the building gets together and collectively fixes it. But there was a shortcoming in this building, and I didn't realize it until I was in it for, several years. And the problem was that this 100-unit building, when it was built, had one shutoff valve for the entire plumbing system for the building. That means that if one person in one unit out of all 99 units needed to do some plumbing work, they had to shut the water off to the entire building. Now, that doesn't sound like a big issue. It sounds like most of an annoyance, but the water feed lines in this building, the pipes that deliver water to all the different floors, there are 6 floors in this building, it's a big 4-inch diameter black pipe, a big metal pipe, right? And so think of it, those pipes, they're not continuous. They come in, 15-foot lengths or so. But there's a point where you have to join those pipes together. And the way you join them together is you butt them up against each other, and then you have a C-clamp that bolts over that joint where those pipes meet. And they're super strong, they're great, they work as long as there's pressure in the pipes, right? It's just sort of like this pressure versus the pressure inside, they equal each other out and everything works. However, if you shut the water off, that pressure drops inside. The pipes wiggle and move microscopically, right? So if you're doing that all the time, turning the water on, turning the water off, turning the water on, turning the water off, eventually those C-clamps can fail. And that's exactly what happened. About 4 years ago, a pipe on the 4th floor burst at a C-clamp joint, and it flooded that entire floor. I live on the 3rd floor. So guess what I got? It didn't flood the entire 3rd floor. In fact, my unit was the last unit on the 3rd floor that got some water into the unit. And it mostly came under the door, and it ruined all of the flooring I had, right? So I've got this laminate floor. I had this laminate flooring, and it ruined all the flooring. So we had a settlement, right? And I got new flooring. That's great, right? I got new flooring. But the installers, I think when they put the flooring in the bathroom, maybe they didn't have a new wax ring. Maybe they didn't know what they were doing. I don't know. But all I know is that this problem came up after the flooring, right? So I'm thinking that the toilet was, when they pulled it up to put the flooring in the bathroom, and when they reinstalled my existing toilet, they may have installed it incorrectly. And I'm just thinking that's probably where this problem came from. It came from that water leak years ago. And this is the legacy of an old problem, right? So since then, the building got together and we've installed individual shut-off valves for all the units. It hasn't been a perfect process, but now when I need to do some plumbing work, I can shut the water off to my unit instead of the entire building. Anyway, it's time. I can no longer put it off. I can no longer delay pretending I need to get more knowledge and figure more out. This process should be pretty straightforward. So I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to clear everything out of the bathroom, and I mean everything, because who knows what's going to be under that toilet when I pull it up. At the least, it's going to be a messy, gooey, waxy, poopy mess underneath there that I'm going to have to clean up. Then I have to evaluate the flange. If it's all rusty or cracked or compromised in any way, I'm going to have to go back to the hardware store and get a closet flange. The other thing I have to evaluate is whether or not the subfloor is compromised. If it's rotting, if it's got a bunch of mold in it, then this becomes a much bigger project. And I'm afraid of that. I'm worried about that. So here we go, taking that old toilet out. So here's my process. I want to get it clean first, right? So I'm going to clean the toilet. It's going to be cleaner than it's ever been. I'm going to clean it, and then I'm going to use my brand new shop vac that I got just for this purpose to suck all the water out of it. So I'm going to get the water out of the tank and then out of the bowl. But I also learned a secret on how to get most of the water out of the bowl. It's called shocking it. So what you do is you fill up a bucket full of water. So it's a 5-gallon bucket. So I'm going to get about 3 or 4 gallons in this bucket and then pour that entire 3-4 gallons directly into the toilet. It causes it to flush and it sucks the remaining water out of the bowl. So once I get to that spot, then I'm going to wipe it all down and suck out any other water that I see and get it dry. So I want it to be clean and dry as I can get it before I disassemble it and pull it off the floor. Now, I can see the problem right now. The toilet is leaking on the floor right now. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of water back here. I better go get some paper towels. So there shouldn't be anything holding this tank in place now except gravity. So here we go. I'm gonna pull it. So here's my plan of attack. I figured out what wrench I need to loosen the nut that goes on the closet bolts that hold the toilet to the floor. So I'm gonna loosen that, and then I'm going to put a big heavy contractor bag over the toilet bowl and lift it up. And I'm going to carry that out to the cart that I have out in the hallway there that has another big heavy black contractor bag. I'm going to double bag it. And then I'm going to come back in here and use rags and the vacuum to clean up any mess that I see, minus the wax. And then I have to evaluate the flange, the closet flange, the water closet flange, to see if I need to go get a new one or if I can just repurpose this one. I'm going to look for corrosion, cracks, rust, any of those wear issues. And if it's compromised at all, I'm just going to pause, run to the store, and get a new flange. If it looks like I can reuse it, I'm just going to put the new closet bolts in place and start the process of installing the new toilet. Some of you have probably been wondering what this orange cup's about. When I pull the toilet, I'm going to be exposed to the open air to the sewer gas, right? So I'm going to stick this down in that sewer pipe. Hopefully it's not too skinny, and it'll hopefully just plug the hole while I clean up and get ready to install the new toilet. So, here we go. I'm going for it. Paper towel ready in case I need it. Some on each side. All right, toilet, it's you or me.
God damn.